recent behavior, Kardashian posted on Instagram Wednesday and seemed to confirm that the rapper is dealing with a manic episode due to his bipolar disorder, that she's trying to get him help, and he's a brilliant and complicated person who needs compassion and empathy right now. Jason Ingleton, ABC News, Hollywood.
Your overhead doors and loading dock equipment are vital to your business. Pro Door Dock offers affordable 24-hour emergency service to all makes and models. Their technicians have the expertise to diagnose and repair your equipment the first time. Not happy with your provider? Contact Pro Door Dock. Their mobile app makes placing service calls, tracking progress, and your history Pro Door.
Le démontrer est à traiter dans son honneur.
As more businesses and services reopen, we must all continue our efforts to protect each other. Continue to practice physical distancing and stay 2 meters apart. Wear face covering when physical distancing is a challenge or where required. And continue to wash hands frequently. Get tested if you're worried you may have COVID-19 or have been exposed to the virus. Inside or out, stay safe. Save lives. Visit ontario.ca/coronavirus to learn more. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
On News Radio, 680 News.
The clouds 23, feeling like 29 in downtown Toronto. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett. Here are the top stories right now. All lined up with no place to go. Less than a week away from their first home game and less than 24 hours before the start of the season. The Blue Jays hosted using Pittsburgh's PNC Park as a stand-in for Rogers Center is now a no-go. A good health official saying with them sharing the stadium with the Pittsburgh Pirates, there'd be way too many teams and bodies in the hallways and dressing rooms. A man is in hospital with serious injuries after shooting near Jane in the 401 around 9 p.m. Police on the hunt for 2 suspects seen fleeing in a silver sedan. And the TVC is investigating after one of its drivers got into a screaming match with a passenger that was caught on video and went viral. That passenger allegedly threatened to spit on her. Coming up after sports.
In a rare move, the Prime Minister has agreed to testify at committee and take questions from MPs on the growing weed controversy.
Time for 680 Sports. That's Sports at 590 Van. Good morning, Michelle Lee.
Kent has closed up shop. Exhibition games are done, and as we get set for the MLB season, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is still socking dingers.
Full cap delivery. Swung on and crushed. Deep left field into that Fenway night and gone. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. powers up against Brian Johnson, and he hits it right out of the ballpark. A 2-run homer, and the Blue Jays take a 2-0 lead.
That's Mike Wilner with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. That 2-0 score ended up as the final. Trent Thornton went 3 innings, allowing just 1 hit and 3 strikeouts as the game started. The season starts on Thursday evening with Yankees and Nationals, while the Jays get going on Friday against the Rays. Meanwhile, no Pittsburgh for the Blue Jays after Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf and the team stay at PNC Park. Baltimore, Buffalo, and Dunedin all remain options, as does the possibility of making the Jays play all of their games this season on the road. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. And Mookie Betts has signed a new mega deal with the Dodgers. It's worth $365 million, pays him a $65 million signing bonus, and will keep him in Los Angeles until 2032. Sports at 15 and 45, past every hour. For anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 12:17.
This is exciting. North Toronto Auction's 2-day online-only auction event. Friday at noon. ATVs, snowmobiles, small equipment, and salvage. Then Saturday at 9 a.m. Fabulous pre-owned cars, trucks, and municipal equipment. Don't be afraid to buy online. NTA has a 72-hour buyback. Don't like the car? Bring it back. Get your yearly pro subscription for easy online access anytime. New website, new way of doing business, and just plain fun. NorthTorontoAuction.com. Some conditions apply. Save big during Aero Furniture's sensational summer sale. Sensational because you're supporting Canadian manufacturers and distributors. And you don't pay till 2022. Shop Aero Furniture today and help support your Canadian manufacturers and distributors. The sensational summer sale. On now for a limited time at all 4 GTA locations. Aero Furniture, making you feel home. Conditions apply. Visit aerofurniture.com. That's aerofurniture.com.
680 news time at 12:18. We will hear testimony from the Prime Minister on the ongoing wheat controversy. We get the details from 680's Parliament Head reporter Cormac McSweeney.
It's rare to see a Prime Minister appear at a committee, but that's exactly what will happen as the Prime Minister's office confirms Justin Trudeau has agreed to testify at the Finance Committee, which has been investigating how the wheat charity received a government contract to deliver the $900 million student service grant. The date and time of the testimony are still being worked out. Trudeau has apologized for not recusing himself from helping approve the contract, given his mother, brother, and wife have financial ties to the charity, but he's defended himself, saying the choice of wheat did not come from his government.
The civil service worked out the details of that.
Finance Minister Bill Morneau also has family ties to WE. In that committee, he revealed he's repaid the charity $41,000 for expenses on a pair of trips he took 3 years ago. The Ethics Commissioner is also investigating. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
A federal judge has struck down a key agreement on refugees between Canada and the U.S.
In a ruling today, Federal Court Justice Anne-Marie MacDonald says elements of the law underpinning the Safe Third Country Agreement violate constitutional guarantees of life, liberty, and security. Under the agreement, Canada and the U.S. recognize each other as safe places to seek protection. It means Canada can turn back potential refugees who arrive at ports of entry along the Canada-U.S. border on the basis they must pursue their claims in the U.S. Canadian refugee advocates have vigorously fought the deal, arguing the U.S. is not always a safe country for people fleeing persecution. Terry Pender, the Canadian Press, Ottawa.
680 news time at 12:20. U.S. President Donald Trump announcing a surge of federal law enforcement agents heading into U.S. cities that are, quote, plagued by violent crime.
The FBI,
like DC,
ATF, DEA, U.S. Marshal Service, and Homeland Security will together be sending hundreds of skilled law enforcement officers to Chicago to help drive down violent crime. And murderers and violent criminals are breaking a wide range of federal laws. We have that. It's as wide as it can be. We will find them, arrest them, and prosecute them.
They
will be in jail
chickens
for many
without
years to
licenses
come.
on Thursdays.
Chicago remains on edge as it awaits the arrival of those agents, with many fearing a repeat of the scenes playing out in Portland, Oregon, where unidentified agents in camouflage had beaten unarmed protesters and detained others in unmarked
I'm wearing the wrong
vehicles.
uniform, am I? I'm wearing the wrong uniform now. All these people here recognize what they have.
Now we turn to traffic and
You
put
show
it
up
together
wrong
on the one to the
uniform,
traffic center. It's quick here.
Not a terrible drive, but we do have construction out there causing some slowdown still. So it's still slow eastbound 401, pretty solid from south to the airport if you're in the express right through to the 427. This is because you go down to a single lane. And then they shut down the express lanes from east of Kipling to approaching Yonge. So just be aware of that. No access in the express. The rest is construction closures of some ramps, and we have some flooding that's closed the East 401 ramp to Winston Churchill. And then we also have the Highway 25 and the Jamestown Parkway ramps to the eastbound 401 shut down, as well as the southbound Port Union ramp, northbound Port Union ramp to the west 401 that's closed, and the Market Road ramps to the west 401 are also blocked off. No access to the Allen on the westbound 401 tonight, and also the northbound 25 ramp to the west 401 is blocked off for overnight road work.
I've had worse.
North 427, no access from Derry or eastbound Finch, and the northbound 427 ramp to Highway 7 has been closed this morning. South 427 ramps to the 407 are closed, and the Finch ramps to the South 427 are shut down as well. Southbound 427 express ramp to the westbound QEW closed for maintenance as well. 680 News reporters are powered by Don Valley North Toyota. Check out their in-store specials and shop the lot online. You can even get a trade-in appraisal, DonValleyNorthToyota.com. Next report at 12:31 with the forecast. Here's Adam Stein.
Contingent on you bringing the
It's a
car
little bit
in.
of a cloudy start to the day today, and then into the afternoon, clearing out to partly cloudy, and afternoon high temperature of 28 degrees. Humidity's relatively low, so humidity values will only be into the lower 30s as we head overnight. 18, clearing sky on the way. 28 degrees during the day tomorrow with sunshine back in the forecast, and we're going to stick with that into Saturday as well. We'll warm things up on Saturday. Starting off today at 18 degrees, heading up to a high of 31. That 31 is going to feel into the upper 30s. Sunday, we're going to add a few clouds into the afternoon, but likely going to stay dry.
Shooters in there, Toronto. We got
33 degrees, feeling like 40. Today, it's partly cloudy with a high temperature near 28.
Right now in downtown Toronto, a few clouds, 23 degrees, feeling like 29. In Pearson, 21. The Humidex sitting at 25 with a few clouds. 680 news time, 12:23.
First and fast. Breaking news when it happens on 680 News.
If you're looking for something compelling to listen to, Frequency Podcast Network is the place for you. From daily insights with the big story to the fascinating religious documentary Heaven Bent, top-notch parenting with Moms in the Middle to the heartfelt personal stories of Saint. Enjoy contemporary food culture.
Everyone's starving to death.
I've been trapped in this earthly shell, born into hell like I was a sinner in another lifetime. Destined to grind, got to watch my homies, cause in this life of crime, never know who's dropping dimes. And even though I realize how many souls it took to lay that track, how many hookers never made it back, all I can do is laugh and count a stack. Be thankful that my mama was more fortunate than that. Me, I chose the hustler's path, jagged and rough, a trail surrounded by blood-sprayed drugs, leading me into my life as a thug. Too hard to deal with drugs. Yeah, that's me. This picture, these profits, spinning prophecies.
4 to 5 businesses go out of business. Full protection of police and the government, everything they go out of business.
Rolling wild through these streets, pulling jack moves and ducking police. I like no peace. And when I die, the devil will force me. Prophecy, the things I see, scriptures in my mind that read, haunting me, finding me, delivering the signs to me. It's prophecy, the things I see, scriptures in my mind I read, haunting me, finding me, delivering the signs to me. It's prophecy, the things I see, scriptures in my mind I read, haunting me, finding me, delivering the signs to me. I was raised in the last pick, where there ain't too many people that give a shit. Everyone's dying to become a statistic quick. My sins is like a flame on a candlestick, eating at my soul like the flame eats at the wick. All I'm wondering is, who got my toe down the river of Styx? Live my life godless until I'm done this shit. Regardless of what you do, there ain't nothing after this. We clueless and blind, thinking there's something we'll find. Heaven's just a manifestation of the mind. I'm losing hope daily ever since I had my first baby. I've been going crazy, but I don't blame Kaylee. You can blame the streets for what they made me. The game enslaved me, and nowadays I kill for my payment. So I suggest you pay me before you in the graveyard. Decay. Prophecy, things I see, scriptures in my mind I read, haunting me, finding me, delivering the signs to me. It's prophecy, the things I see, scriptures in my mind I read, haunting me, finding me, delivering the signs to me. It's prophecy, the things I see, scriptures in my mind I read, haunting me, finding me, delivering the signs to me.
It's the fucking 70s and 60s. You play in the military and you ain't smoking weed, nobody trusts you. Who the fuck are you? Oh, they're one of them fucking city cops, aren't you? That's a city cop. City cop. Yeah, make a city cop? Yeah, say it like that. I did.
All that talking on your wet face, scaring me. Keep on pushing me, it's like you carry me. Like
At the end of days, it's up days, it's red, you back.
All that talking on your wet face, scaring me. Keep on pushing me, it's like you carry me. Like I hope, pop, you better bleed. Used to skip class, the made cash is the one who I never passed. Teacher always talking about something I don't really care about. You see, when I'm done here, gotta go home. And sometimes home ain't the place you wanna go. In a crowded room, I feel alone. He wants his mother who see it die in his arms. And then they wonder why he acts so it costs others harm. He was even waiting to give me back then. I was never supposed to be shit.
I run into him at the end of the day with fucking days, wasted and tired, meaning you don't fucking know.
Born for a greater purpose. Because of that, I know I make you nervous.
You know the guy?
There's a thing lurking underneath the surface.
Oh,
do this in the memory of my dog dead and deceased. Every scar, every tattoo, he's something to me. Yeah, I'm a ride. Till they bury me. All that talking on your weapon, scaring me.
Little thing you got, ain't nothing to change. I know that.
Ride. Till they bury me. All that talking on your weapon, scaring me. Keep on pushing me, it's like you carry me. Like I won't pop, even better please. You know what's top this shit, 2014, right now. 2014. Shit, can't fuck with this. I ain't getting bail, so I run till they catch me. I ain't scared of y'all, so you won't have to dead me before I ever stop. I'm a giant in the fast lane. Get your toes the fuck out the way, cause this year I'm stomping on every day. Put the cocaine in that, way or less till I'm on triple back. Fuckin' with you thinking plan war. Got
Three up.
Just wait for the order. Get the product from across the border. Your guns are layaway, mine on standby. Send my condolences, yeah. Heard your man die. Got that good and she's trying to get high. Just follow my lead and you will be fine. Yeah, I came from a place where city was fake. Had to learn the hard way, the only way all day long. Had to earn these cards to write this song. I work for the great nigga, once the music stopped.
Maybe the thoughts to second guess. They give you the weird feelings when you physically weak and made you fail. You still went outside. Still pretty deserved.
Whatever it takes, I should have lived in my state. No room for error, no room for mistake.
Watch me stay
Right.
on.
All that talking on your wet face scaring me. Keep on pushing me. It's like you're telling me. Like I won't pop. Leave them there to bleed. Right. Till they bury me. All that talking on your wet face scaring me. Keep on pushing me. It's like you're telling me. Like I won't pop. Leave them there to bleed.
News in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good morning. This is Thursday, July 23rd. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Tim Chapman. Here's what's making news right now.
Toronto police are looking for suspects after a late-night shooting in North York sends one man to hospital with serious injuries.
With their first home game just a few days away, the Blue Jays still don't know where it will be played after their proposal to play in Pittsburgh was rejected by state officials.
Did a TTC bus driver go too far?
What?
A video is circulating online that captured a driver and a rider involved in a screaming match. The investigation into the deaths of two young Quebec girls who were killed by their father is closed, but police are still trying to figure out the
You're supposed to be screaming at him, giving him a direction. He's ignoring it. She's not supposed to leave that little box.
Seattle franchise is set to make some news. Sports at 45.
Second quarter results from some.
I know what would happen if that Pepsi Dash wasn't there. She would have put her hands on me.
From Twitter and Loblaws as North American markets come off a winning session.
TTC drivers assault is the average is like more than one a day.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones.
You know,
Good morning,
these
Craig
good
here.
drivers, their job is to drive.
Brought to you by your local Ontario Subaru dealers. So construction delays on the eastbound 401 from
Well,
7 to
that's
the
the
airport
locksmith.
through to the
That's how I know the
427
turnover
in
is
the
so high.
express. And then
I
the express lanes are closed on the eastbound 401 this morning from east of
was
Kinflow to
driving
approaching
garbage
Yonge.
trucks or something.
We
Some of us
have
have people involved.
the Highway 25 ramps to the east 401 closed, James Snow Parkway ramp, and the southbound Port Union ramp onto the eastbound 401 blocked off. The ramp off the highway to Winston Churchill is still closed for flooding. East 407 ramp to the north 427, that's been blocked off. We have the northbound Port Union ramp to the westbound 401 closed, as well as the Markham Road ramps to the highway, and the northbound 25 ramp to the west 401's closed too. Northbound 427, no access from Derry or eastbound Finch, and the north 427 ramp to Highway 7, that's been closed. South 427 ramps to the east and west 407 blocked off, and the Finch ramps to the south 427 are closed. The big ramp closure here is the south 427 express ramp onto the QEW, still blocked here for some construction, so it'll be a little bit of a detour to get onto the QEW and head westbound off of the 427 this morning. Find all new ways to shop for a Subaru at your local dealer. Shop online and connect for award-winning service. All new value and rates from as low as 0.5%.
I'm just going to go out in the woods and find one.
Next report at 12:41.
You're the one that comes
forecast
with
with Adam
me.
Stiles.
Bring things back up over the next few days and drying out. Looks like 28 the daytime high
I'll be
today.
fine.
Winds out of the
Subaru,
northwest near 20
you know,
kilometers per
vehicles.
hour. Some cloud in the morning, peaks of
I'd walk
sunshine
around
into
till I
the
find the right
afternoon. Pretty
one.
nice
and
summer
then,
day on the way.
you know, when it's
Today's high,
yours,
28
it's yours.
degrees.
Right now, downtown Toronto, 22 degrees with a few clouds. The humidity making it feel more like 27. 680 News Time, 12:33.
A man has been rushed to hospital with serious injuries after a shooting in North York. Toronto police say they received multiple calls around 9 last night about multiple gunshots heard in the area of Falstaff and Springview Avenue.
So like, did each person call about one shot? I heard one shot, but I think somebody else was calling
from
about two
serious
more.
gunshot wounds.
Police are looking for two suspects who took off in a silver sedan. The first suspect described as a black man wearing a gray hoodie, gray pants, white running shoes, and a medical mask. The second suspect described as a black man wearing a black jacket, black shirt, white pants, and black running shoes. If you have any information on this incident, you're asked to contact police.
Well, with the MLB season finally kicking off today, it looks like the PNC Park is a no-go for the Blue Jays. This after the state of Pennsylvania rejected the proposal to share the home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. 680's Asher Roth has more.
Pirates beat writer Jason Mackey tells Sportsnet 590 The Fan he doesn't fully understand that government's decision.
Hey, you're a sports writer. You're writing about people that can't read.
Too many visitors or whatever.
I don't understand what you're doing.
Okay. Well, by that logic, then we shouldn't be playing at all.
Bob Nightingale of USA Today says he now sees Florida as an option for the Jays. So that plan presents its own problems since Florida has been a COVID hotbed in recent days. He points out things have changed quickly through this pandemic.
I who thought that one of the safest places would be New York. After California came out for Memorial Day, it was like Mardi Gras here, and then boom, it gets you. So you never know.
Other options they're still looking at include Camden Yards and
everybody
Baltimore,
talks about
Salem
like
Field,
with
and
these
Buffalo,
colloquialisms.
or going to the city of each of their scheduled opponents and playing those games as the home team.
You all have so
effectively
much
making the season a
experience.
60-game
When I say I do, all of a sudden everybody else does too. Get the fuck out of here.
680 News Time, 12:35. Fans have been busy on Twitter while professional sports have been away. 680's Richard Southern reports.
Yeah, we've certainly been tweeting up a storm with sports away. According to Twitter, the most talked about team here in Canada on Twitter is the Raptors, followed by the Maple Leafs, then the Blue Jays, and Toronto FC. The most tweeted about athlete here in Canada, Connor McDavid, followed by PK Subban and Austin Matthews. Interestingly enough, between March and July, the most mentioned NHL account was the Boston Bruins, followed by the Edmonton Oilers, and then the Toronto Maple Leafs. With many leagues shut down, Twitter saw sports fans talking about some other leagues a lot, in particular the Bundesliga. This is the German soccer league. Tweets about it up 681%.
City News Time, 12:35. Well, a video that captured a TTC bus driver screaming at a passenger to get off.
Okay, well. Another person talks about the same shit all day long 6 times. Hello, Kitty.
drunk, so drunk. You can tell cause I don't give a fuck. I'm hot, so hot. You can tell when the blood shot down. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell cause I don't give a fuck. Come chill with me in the Dubtown, sipping with the G's.
I was never bothered. I was never disenfranchised. That's why people are like, oh, we apologize for the nursery that. Listen, my whole life we've had money. My whole life we've been running businesses. When the fuck was I not anything took away from me? What the fuck did you take away? You pussies go from long lines to fucking workers. Fucking like 6 lines of fucking teams.
I need peace, no breeze, so much me well. She has give me like the stress from the streets. So hot, you can tell when the
We've been doing this longer than Moses, longer than the OTS.
I'm drunk, so drunk. Tell cause I don't give a fuck. I'm hot, so hot. Tell bust shot down. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. Come on, chill with me in the dubtown, sipping with a G-12. Northside, Isabel, down the CTL West when we ride by, dipping in the D-Bell. Live in the city, slick his fingers, keep a peace out. The trigger squeeze, these 12s release shell, so he shout over on the sand like a seashell. And if it's beat well, hope you like your meat well. Need help to buckle, make you buckle like a seatbelt. Keep my metal high, so you pop until the heat well. Crack rock, hustle crack locks, so the keys melt. Living with convenience, brothers on the street bell. Seasons and ice every day for the shit that we sell. I be well by any means on the TL. Don't ever see test shit, never hear eval. I need peace, no three, so I dream well. She helps stimulate the stress from the streets. I'm high, so high. You can tell from the bus shot guys. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high.
Weather report.
I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high, so high. I'm drunk, so.
Welcome to Environment. Pour la ville de Toronto, pour la prévision publique pour les 7 prochains jours, faites le 1. Prévision émise par Environnement Canada à 22h03 le mercredi 22 juillet pour ce soir, cette nuit, jeudi et la nuit suivante. Ville de Toronto pour ce soir et cette nuit partiellement nuageux. 60% de probabilité d'averse dans ce soir et après minuit avec risque d'un orage. Minimum 17. Pour jeudi, alternance de soleil et de nuages. 40% de probabilité d'averse en après-midi. Maximum 27. Un indice humidex 32. L'indice ultraviolet de 9 ou 21.
Drunk, so drunk. Drunk, ready to die, selling drugs where the cops will buy me in the shack, getting the crackheads high. Take a good look at the bad guy. I didn't mean to interrupt the party, but this truck getting out me. Plus I think this bitch wanna fuck me. First I'ma knock him out, then I'ma knock one out. Yeah, after that I'm out, laying checks on a rampage. I'm gone now, won't be back for days. Living out some day, and now my head hurt. Pop a couple perks, try to sleep it off. Usually don't work. Shadow people stalking me. What could they want? What does it mean? I might be tripping, but then again you might get shaked up while you listen. Y'all should listen. Yeah, pay attention. Real talk. I'm high, so high. You can tell when I'm one shot guys. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high. You can tell when I'm one shot guys. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high, so high. I'm drunk, so drunk, so drunk. Now it's your motherfucking fault when I walk in the door, man. I'm bottles full of liquor all over your house, man. Let me tell you something quick. If you don't know by now that I'm a motherfucking loud boy, drunk and loud. I give a fuck about the cops and that pistol sound. So tell your baby daddy check before we get knocked out. I'm doing rails and drinking liquor, trying to deal with my pain. Don't need a motherfucking hate, trying to get in my way. You never party, motherfucker, I'll be gone for days. Banging bitches at the bar, in the bathroom stall. I'm doing rips off the pictures, then I hear last call. So I'ma hit the vendor up, head straight to the party. Get drunk, then I'm motherfucker blacking out. Till the world starts spinning, around and around. Till the break of dawn, till the sun comes out. Better come and grab the girl, I should've passed around. I'm high, so high. You can tell when the bus shot dies. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high. You can tell when the bus shot dies. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high, so high. I'm drunk, so drunk, so drunk, so drunk. Yeah, the struggle.
Something like an outlaw, something like an outlaw. In this hood, up to no good. Smoking on something, smoking on something, sipping on something, sipping on something. Something like an outlaw, something like an outlaw. In the hood, up to no good. Smoking on something, smoking on something, sipping on something, sipping on something.
Mama tongue stay inside, cause the streets are cold. I need man, see money, yeah, the streets go. See a mama own in the whip, getting go. My head was out with Chino, De Niro, and out the pole. Lost in the room, looking for my place. But everywhere I go, it's like I'm running in a race at a tourist pace. So watching all around me. It was never so hard, it's never easy. Having fun from the good just to get me higher. Running in the streets with age quick and so tired. Eyes wired, made it this far. Struggle every day. Who knew you'd be
It doesn't matter to the race now. It's gonna watch it into the morning live.
Like I'm living in the trap, I be going for the top, and I never turn it back.
Like an outlaw, like an outlaw. In this hood, up to no good. Smoking on something, smoking on something, sipping on something, sipping on something. Something like an outlaw, something like an outlaw. In the hood, up to no good. Smoking on something, sipping on something, sipping on something, sipping on something.
Something like an outlaw. Black flag duck, I'm hearing signs in my head. Man, I think I'm fucked up. I think I'm fucked up. As a matter of fact, I wonder where the fuck I am. Just at least I'm already up to no good to get. Drugs in my pocket, gun in my head. Lord, when will it end? I'm just waiting for support to kill me. But you probably have to be something like an outlaw, something like a gangster to feel me. You bet I'ma pour my liquor in a glass and be fucking filthy. I'm sipping till I don't give a fuck. And now I'm in the middle of the street fucking random people up. God, it's why I'm getting high. Tell my mama that I love her, cause tonight might be my last night. I tell her don't pray for me. This is how I chose to be. This gang life's the only life for me.
And like an outlaw, and like an outlaw. In this hood, up to no good. Smoking on something, smoking on something, sipping on something, sipping on something. Something like an outlaw, something like an outlaw. In the hood, up to no good. Smoking on something, smoking on something, sipping on something, sipping on something.
Yeah. it, I'ma make it shift. Toothbrush open up to kill with. Fuck you, click. Pull the trigger like click, click, click. Let the body first stick, stick, stick. Till they got to kiss a tip. The words on these charges probably won't stick. My mind's sick, won't flow when I spit. Watch me open up the sky just to tell God to suck a dick. Yeah, a little time won't face. You a G, it ain't shit. They say he a mess. And how the fuck you do that? I told the judge I could do the same standing on my head. Yeah, the devil at the door to rebind my mind. Another moment lost in space and time. Break the whole brick down is what I'm used to. You don't make money, dog, so I ain't got no use for you.
God's the head drug dealer. Gates of Reno Hall. I've been saying for years they've been flipping bricks out of Parliament now. Man, run up in there with a gun and get gunned down with a whole army in it.
Walls closing in on me. They say the future ain't ours to see. The walls closing in on me, but never gon' be, gon' be. The walls closing in on me. They say the future ain't ours to see. The walls closing in on me, but never gon' be, gon' be. Woke up feeling like I don't know nothing anymore. My whole sky gets so got me wondering where the time goes. So many mistakes, so many wrongs. Not enough words in a song for me to express.
I need another joint. It's gotta be totally psychological. I don't feel like I get as high with these papers. The papers got like not nearly as much to do with it. Unless the papers are really fucking up the whole experience and half of it's falling out on the ground or something.
Walls closing in on me, but never gon' be, gon' be. Walls closing in on me, they say the future ain't ours to see. Walls closing in on me, but never gon' be, gon' be. Woke up feeling like I don't know nothing anymore. My whole sky gets so got me wondering where the time goes. So many mistakes, so many wrongs. Not enough words in a song for me to express all my regrets. Just know I did my best. Never knew what I was doing. Being a dad wasn't really meant for me. Never had a dad. I was raised by the penitentiary. All the times I went to jail, didn't let your mama bring you to visit me. It's not the way I wanted you to picture me. And yeah, I cried, thinking of the damage I caused with my pride. Knowing damn well you need me outside. I swear I'm trying to be a better man. Trying not to see the bad. I know you never forgive me if I left again. This is for all my sins. As I live and breathe, Daddy here to give you what you need. Closing in on me, they say the future ain't ours to see. The walls closing in on me, but never gon' be, gon' be. The walls closing in on me, they say the future ain't ours to see. The walls closing in on me, but never gon' be, gon' be. For the women that give birth to my children, I know you had to deal with more than normal women. You felt the stress most of how I'm living. It ain't easy loving me, and fuck the one that stuck by me through it all. It's you I want to apologize to most of all the times I left your room without a call. I'm ashamed of my selfish ways, wish I did it different. The tears on your beautiful face, I wish I did it different. Yeah, I thought I was blind, you showed me I was walking with closed eyes. You turned darkness to light, give me strength when I didn't have it. Let me put my friends on the coach when they didn't have it. All the shit you put up with, being in love with a thought, The walls closing in on me, they say the future ain't hard to see. The walls closing in on me, whatever gon' be. The walls closing in on me, they say the future ain't hard to see. The walls closing in on me, whatever gon' be.
What's it like being a white cop walking around trying to be a prick these days, and random people you don't recognize are telling you to fuck up?
Get your ass up out the car, nigga. Get the fuck out. Hurt yourself, nigga. Hurt yourself.
Ever see a police car
streets, I'm the GDS out crack with the working class seats. Live my life on the beat, no matter what I might eat. If I'm a burn for a plate, might as well make it the beast. I go hard till I'm in that box. A little baking soda mixed with the cane. Now we're cooking rocks. Can't sleep too many chops. I know they surveillance me. Fuck them, let them watch. Satan's calling on me, y'all. On the clock, I have this dream. Every night it's the same. I'm on the beach, run up the notes. Johnny, what does it mean? You can call it greed, I call it get mine by any means. Yeah, the KID, aka the Sandman, putting to sleep like rockin' bye-bye, baby. Will the sun come up tomorrow? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, the boy done lost his way. Walking like you masturbate, better say, yeah, the boy done lost his way. Nothing good here, all the time was paid. Yeah, the boy done lost his way. Walking like you masturbate, better say, yeah, the boy done lost his way. Nothing good here, all the time was paid. Yeah, the boy.
I was raised up west side, money motivated mind, fiends dedicated. How would these be on the fucking grind? Do this all the time, every day, you know I gotta ride. Money be a girl, say goodbye, cause now the bitch is mine. It's just another day, another probably living the devil's way like renegade. Bunch of Tuesday crazies on the end of the day. Get on your knees and pray like you're about to meet the Lord today. Slowly starting to fade, lost, living into an unconscious state. You don't want that faith, living life in the hood, it's rolled the soldiers on your folder. The paper I used for my first time to roll. So I had caught never showed up what. So let get more bucks. What that mean for a nigga like me? I might rob your whole family tree. Yeah. What that mean for a nigga like me? I might rob your whole family tree. Yeah.
Get a boy, done lost his way. Walking like you masturbate, better say, yeah, the boy done lost his way. Nothing good here, all the time was played. Yeah, the boy done lost his way. Walking like you masturbate, better say, yeah, the boy done lost his way. Nothing good here, all the time was played. Yeah, the boy.
What's the difference between a nation, a state, and a tribe? Oh, okay, United States, United Nations. Oh, I'm saying some scary shit now, eh?
Ain't hard to my number call, trust me dog. You ain't prepared to do what I'm prepared to do. Work the car, the artillery I got, cause you have to get chains on. Ready to tat, man down. Stop, listen, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Murder in the first degree, homicide in my
crib harassment. She was yelling even when her arm, now she can't speak. It's a cold world that we live in, take it from me. Yeah, in the end, everything I see and have seen is but a dream within a dream. Long days, cold nights, serving fees. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This that new shit, that gang life revolution. You don't wanna fuck with this, I got homie on standby, ready to let it rip. I suggest you close your lips, stop bumping your guns before you hurt someone you love. No remorse for my gun, no regrets for these clips. Cross me and I'll take it bout shit. Got an M16, copied up the black market shit. Big guns, big clips, you don't want any part of this. I'm on that leave me retarded shit. We ain't shit, not giving a fuck who started it. Try me, see how far you get. 4 goons in a stolen whip. Roll through, fuck your whole day, you fucking clown. Going hard to my number call, trust me dog. You ain't prepared to do what I'm prepared to do. Working hard, the artillery I got, cause you don't have to get chainsaw. Ready to tat, man down. Stop, listen, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Murder in the first degree, homicide in my crib harassment. She was yelling even when her arm, now she can't speak. It's a cold world that we live in, take it from me. Yeah, in the end, everything I see and have seen is but a dream within a dream. Long days, cold nights, serving fees. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This that new shit, that gang life revolution. You don't wanna fuck with this, I got homie on standby, ready to let it rip. I suggest you close your lips, stop bumping your guns before you hurt someone you love. No remorse for my gun, no regrets for these clips. Cross me and I'll take it bout shit. Got an M16, copied up the black market shit. Big guns, big clips, you don't want any part of this. I'm on that leave me retarded shit. We ain't shit, not giving a fuck who started it. Try me, see how far you get. 4 goons in a stolen whip. Roll through, fuck your whole day, you fucking clown. Should've paid up, not a great nigga putting in work. Covering your coffin in dirt. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, he got what he deserved. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker.
There ain't no peace, all I see is violence in the streets. Junkies in the alleyway, homie broke his by any means. Random robberies just to feed. Close your eyes, imagine what it's like to be me. It's just the nature of the beast, no warning. We just sink our teeth, we rip the competition apart. Once the gun goes off, pick it start. He played until he passed on. A grown man cry like a hoe. What a sad song. All my soldiers put your flags on. We gon' bang to this song. I keep the strap like an ace in the hat. Yeah, I'd rather get caught with it than with all where I'm at. Got no time for rats. Tell Brooke and he can kiss my ass. We don't talk to police, got no respect for the bad. That's why I keep the gun and mask right next to the stash. You can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. It's the nature of the beast. You can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. Nature of the beast. You can't play me. It's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast, the nature of the beast. You can't play me. The nature of the beast,
Nature of the beast, yeah, the nature of the beast. I'm jumping on deck with my hand on my tech. Disrespect the mob and get your face in your lap. You claiming you hardcore, but doing bass in the trap. I'm loading my gun up, ready for what's happening.
Fleeing the area. They arrived on scene and confirmed that there was a shooting. They've located an adult male suffering from gunshot wounds.
The victim was then rushed to hospital in serious condition. The FORE police say they think the suspect vehicle may be a silver sedan, and they say they're looking for two suspects. The first suspect is described as a black male wearing a gray hoodie, gray pants, white running shoes, and a medical mask. The second suspect is described as a black male wearing a black jacket, black shirt, and white pants, and black running shoes.
6:50 News Time 104. It's wheels up for Air Transat as the airline scheduled to take flight once again today. The airline will be offering a new flight schedule to 22 destinations in Europe, the South, the United States, and Canada until the end of the summer season on October the 31st. In addition, Transat will be rolling out new health measures to ensure the safety of its customers and employees. The airline will also offer domestic flights between Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, and Vancouver.
680 News Time 104. The 2020 Major League Baseball season officially gets underway today, but the Blue Jays are still without a home base. The Boys of Summer will not play their home games in Pittsburgh this season after Pennsylvania officials say they don't want to risk the health of residents by adding more travelers to the region. 680's Asher Roth has more on what comes next.
The first home game is scheduled for next Wednesday, but the Blue Jays still don't know where they will play it. Sportsnet's baseball editor Ben Nicholson-Smith says, like many things in 2020, this is unprecedented.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. This is no longer a remote issue. This is very immediate, and nobody knows where they're going to play.
The Jays are looking to avoid the scenario of playing their home games at their opponents' home stadiums, effectively making their season a 60-game road trip. Bob Nightingale of USA Today thinks Florida is still on the table.
I saw the Rays complex at St. Pete and playing Tropicana Field with the
my eyes are closed.
They're also still in talks to share Camden Yards with their division rivals, the Baltimore Orioles. I'm Asher Roth. 680 News Time 105. The team after video surfaced of a driver and a passenger getting into a heated argument on a bus, while other passengers looked on in shock. 680's Phil Martino with more.
The video begins with the TTC driver screaming at him off the bus. She really loses her composure and begins banging on the partition, separating herself from passengers after he threatens to spit in her face.
Pictures of me with my eyes shut when my eyes are wide open looking at the damn screen.
TTC spokesperson
What the fuck are you attempting to do? I'm gonna take my heart, a picture of me that you don't die like that, stupid.
Operators are taught de-escalation techniques.
They're also reminded to, stay seated, stay behind their barriers, and that's for their safety because, these things can escalate, and we don't want anyone getting hurt.
People are messaging the TTC via Twitter, and they're throwing their support behind the driver. Sally Scott writes, I'm asking you to not investigate by punishing your employee for her reasonable response to being abused by a member of the public. I'm Phil Martino. 680 News Time 106. With back to school uncertainty looming for many parents, some teachers are voicing their concerns as well. Faiza Amin of City News has the details.
It's not going to be business as usual. So I think that comparing models, it's really important to remember that.
That TDSB teacher speaking under anonymity with City News says teachers have been left out of the conversation on what's to come in the fall, saying staff fear for their safety coming back to schools.
We're very concerned about going back to school in September in person. I'm personally concerned about whether that's even if it's a full return model or the adaptive model, because either way we will still be exposed to all of our students.
They say though distant learning is less effective and doesn't work well for everyone, particularly for students with special needs. It is the safer option for everyone. The classroom of 30
students, the default. Going to a government school is the option. It's a fucking law.
What happens in the event of a confirmed case?
Given the situation and given that there's a serious safety concern.
I'm Faiza Amin for City News.
680 News Time 108.
How come you ran the story about
Native and Black women's mandatory indoors in public spaces today? The last time the bylaw was brought before council, it resulted in 4 hours of debate and a political stalemate. Councillors were deadlocked 15-15 on a motion to defer making a choice until today. Meanwhile, with Niagara to enter stage 3 of the province's reopening strategy Friday, and now viral video uploaded to YouTube on Tuesday has raised concerns about huge crowds of people on Clifton Hill. The video shows long lineups, people shoulder to shoulder, many who appear to have no concern for physical distancing.
680 News Talent 108, provincial police say 2 young sisters found dead in a field southwest of Quebec
Because they didn't get sick, they were never exposed to it or whatever. In that lineup, that virus is jumping not from one person to the next, to the next.
When they
Yes,
vanished
it is.
following a car crash on the evening
They're
of
all
July
breathing the
8th
same
involving their
droplets over and
father,
over.
Martin Carpentier, who took his own life. Police spokesman Guy Lapointe says
In
despite
fact, when
an
you
Amber
inhale
Alert
somebody
and a
else's
lengthy
droplets,
search
your
for the
body
Carpentiers,
is
the deaths
designed to
occurred in
shed
a short time frame after the crash.
Basically, what we know now, today, given the autopsies, given the investigation, is that all these events that I just related to you all occurred in a very small time frame following the accident. We believe that on the morning of the 9th of July, sadly, all those sad events had already been played, and all 3 were already dead.
Lapointe says the criminal investigation is complete and the province's coroner will now investigate the circumstances surrounding the deaths. I'm Tiwana Turner.
680 News Time 109. Doug Ford found himself dealing with questions about expelling his Cambridge MPP from the PC caucus after she voted against their own party's Bill 195. 680's Mark Douglas reports.
Bill 195, extending certain emergency powers for the government to deal with COVID-19. Premier Doug Ford says the bill is critical, and even though he and Belinda Carajalios spent 2 days together last week,
Never said a word to me, didn't mention anything to me.
but Carajalios tells a very different story. She tells me she only got 3 seconds with the premier on one of those days. She asked him to call her, but he never did then or later on.
I told the Premier's office what the issue was, because you need to let them know what you want to talk to the Premier about. I told them. The individuals took notes.
She says the bill was far too vague in the way it gave power to the Premier's office that could conceivably lead to shutting down the province again, and she could not support that.
And I'm glad that I didn't do that.
At Queen's Park, I'm Mark Douglas.
Slowly adjusting to our new normal.
And we're here for you every step of the way.
Before, during, and after. This is 680 News.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. As Enpro predicted, the price rose 2 cents at midnight to $1.05.9 cents a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next.
American Express is proud to partner with Budweiser Stage at Home. Don't miss Alanis Morissette with special guests The Beaches this Saturday night. Tune in to City TV at 8 p.m. to watch. Want to help support music businesses in your community? Don't forget to shop small at your local record shops and more. Let's help make a big difference to small businesses. Check out americanexpress.ca/shop small to learn more. American Express. Don't live life without it.
680 News Time at 1:11. Time for traffic and weather together. Here's Greg Stewart.
No access to the eastbound 401 from Highway 25 or James Snow Parkway. These ramps are closed this morning. The ramp off the East 401 to Winston Churchill is still closed for flooding. Down to a single lane as you approach the 427 in the Express, but no delays through here right now. We have the Express lanes completely blocked off from the split east of Kipling over to approaching Yonge, and the southbound Port Union ramp to the highways blocked. Eastbound 407 ramp to the north 427, that's been closed off. Northbound Port Union ramp to the westbound 401 closed, and the Markham Road ramps to the highway are also blocked. A few other lane restrictions here and there as you make your travels west on the 401, but nothing slowing you down. We have the northbound Highway 25 ramp to the west 401 shut down for maintenance too. The Dairy ramp to the north 427, that's blocked, and the eastbound Finch ramp as well. And the north 427 ramp to Highway 7 is closed. We have the Finch ramps, both of them, to the south 427 blocked, and also the south 427 express ramp onto the QEW is closed. Your next report's at 1:21. Here's the forecast with Adam Stiles.
We're going to see daytime highs over the next couple of days in the upper 20s. 28 in the forecast today. Cloud in the morning, some sunshine into the afternoon. Northwest wind up to 20 kilometers per hour. As we head overnight down to 18 degrees, it'll be a partly cloudy to clearing sky. Sunshine on the way during the day tomorrow, and a high of 28 in the forecast as well. Humidity is relatively low, so humidex values in the lower 30s. Today, your high temperature expected near 28 degrees.
Right now, downtown Toronto, 22 degrees with a few clouds. The humidity making things feel more like 27. York Regional Police trying to figure out what caused an SUV to crash through the front window of an adult novelties and lingerie shop.
I gotta have liquid latex now. Now, damn it. This Murano will get me there.
The vehicle were not injured, and there was no one inside the store at the time. So become on 6 City News, a list of your top stories and sports. 6 City News time, 1:13.
If you did crash into a novelty store, you got all adult novelty.
Don't pay for 6 months on all new cars. Your safety is our number
What
one
is the problem? It's an adult store. Hold on. In any event, what's go wrong with jumping out and grabbing a bunch of the fucking paint on latex and painting it on the car and we sell off the car?
Looking for a Hyundai?
When the officers come, do not run up and put it on. If you like some, I can put some on you now. You can put some on me too.
It's renewal time
You
for
might
your
have
company
skipped
health
the
and dental
bill
plan,
going
and rates
fucking
are going up.
Or they might take so long to get you there that you pass the breathalyzer or the questionable
$55 a
suspect.
month per employee. Our pool plans have thousands of members, which means more purchasing power, less risk,
Just 2 hours to
lower
arrest
rates,
the guy at
ongoing
the
lower rates. We can even match your current plan
dickhead's
and lower
fucking
your rates.
cottage.
Compare your standalone plan to our pool plan. Visit us at northernfinancialgroup.ca and start saving today.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. It's 22 degrees with a few clouds. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast
Go
Center in
fuck
downtown
yourself.
Toronto. I'm Tim Chapman. Here are the top stories this hour. Police are looking for 2 suspects in a silver sedan following a shooting in North York that sent a man to hospital with serious injuries.
I was looking
Air
for a
Transit
white
resumes its service
sedan,
once again, giving
gray
jet-setting
vehicle.
Canadians more travel options, both domestic and abroad. And coming up after sports, where COVID-19 is being for car sales. 6 City News time, 1:15. Now 6 City Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Sean Lee.
Camp has closed up shop. Exhibition games are done, and as we get set for the MLB season, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is still stalking dingers.
Full cap delivery. Swung
No
on
one's
and
calling me up
crushed.
saying,
Deep
no, I
left
don't
field
know.
into that
This is a big
Fenway
city.
night.
Big fucking
and
city, man.
Gone.
This ain't hundreds of thousands,
Vladimir
but
Guerrero
millions.
Jr.
And we got
powers
like,
up against
normally
Brian Johnson.
like
And
20
he
million
hits it
tourists
right
a year.
out of the
I don't know
ballpark.
how they count
A 2-run homer.
business
and the Blue
trips and
Jays take a
diplomats and all that
2-0
other
lead.
shit.
That's Mike Wilden with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. That 2-0
Put on a
score
fucking thing
ended
in the
up as
middle of the night.
final.
Oh, don't worry,
Trent
tomorrow
Thornton
you
won 3
might
innings
see a whole
allowing
bunch of
one
army
hit and
people
3
rolling
strikeouts
around.
as the game starter. The season starts on Thursday evening with
Just
Yankees
know
and
that they're
Nationals, while the
there.
Jays get
This is
going
Canada.
on Friday
We got your
against the
back.
Rays. Meanwhile,
Even though
no
we
Pittsburgh
haven't
for the
been
Blue
good in
Jays
the
after
Army for
Pennsylvania
about
Governor Tom
25
Wolf
years.
denied the team a
It's
stay at
like,
PNC Park. Baltimore, Buffalo, and Dunedin all
somebody
remain
out there
options,
just screamed,
as does
"No,
the
longer than
possibility
that."
of making the Jays play all of their games this season on the road. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. And Mookie Betts has signed a new mega deal with the Dodgers. It's worth $365 million. Pays him a $65 million signing bonus, and will keep him in Los Angeles until 2032. Sports at 15 and 45, past every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
6 City News time, 1:16.
At Rogers, we believe that we can all make more possible. More for our communities, more for our country. It's why in our 60th anniversary year, Rogers is doubling down on our partnerships with Food Banks Canada, Women's Shelters, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and many other community groups to make more hope possible and a better Canada possible. Because we don't want to get back to normal. We want to get back to better than normal. Learn more at rogers.com/the60project.
To breathe deeper, to stay focused, start with a good night's sleep. Because sleep is the fuel that powers your day. The Better Sleep, Better You sale is on right now at Sleep Country. Shop our incredible brand name mattresses designed exclusively for Sleep Country. Plus, for a limited time, get our Certa Perfect Fitted for Elite Queen mattress that helps provide the full body support you need for only $7.99. Visit us today at one of our sleep experts will walk you through every stage. Sleep well, stay well. Sleep Country.
I don't understand that.
6 City News time, 1:17.
And then the theory would be then, well,
Here's
the water
some
dry
testimony
up my
from one of
snout,
the
if
key
water
figures
dry
on
shit
the
out,
ongoing
it don't
week
make sense.
controversy of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. It's rare to see a prime minister appear at a committee, but that's exactly what will happen as the prime minister's office confirms Justin Trudeau has agreed to testify at the finance committee, which has been investigating how the We charity received a government contract to deliver the $900 million student service grant. The date and time of the testimony are still being worked out. Trudeau has apologized for not recusing himself from helping approve the contract, given his mother, brother, and wife had financial ties to the charity, but he's defended himself, saying the choice of We did not come from his government. The civil service worked out the details of that. Finance Minister Bill Morneau also has family ties to We. In that committee, he revealed he's repaid the charity $41,000 for expenses on a pair of trips he took 3 years ago. The Ethics Commissioner is also investigating. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Honda won't let you get a $40,000 fucking Toyota number, a $40,000 fucking car.
Become mandatory come August.
You know, just take the car 3 years later. Oh, here's the car back. Or here's the money for it.
But what are the mayors of those towns saying?
We welcome everybody.
What you saying, dog?
That's Peter Brown. He's mayor of Airdrie. He says while masks aren't mandatory there, you still need to respect the rules and recommendations set forth.
Many people, not all people, but many people are starting to forget boundaries, and they're sort of falling back to the way they've always done things, and I think, that's a mistake.
And if you're out in Okotoks, Mayor Bill Robertson says they're actually looking at mandatory mask bylaws there too. Nothing's passed yet, but council will discuss it.
I would have concerns of people coming down and perhaps not just masks, but sort of wanting the social distancing protocols, hand washing protocols. All of those things are what's going to make everybody safe.
I'm safe, Kaiser. 680 News Time 1:19. The month of July, normally a popular time to vacation, but COVID-19's brought instead an uptick in car purchases. 680's Deborah Ryder reports social distancing rules might have played a key part in the rollout in summer purchases.
The leasing companies Mark Roos never imagined at the beginning of a pandemic that convertibles would still remain the top sports car to roll out of car dealerships, in spite of summer being the shortest outdoor season of the year, and a keen interest in a second family car along with SUVs always being in popular demand regardless of the season. What's changed is that consumers are buying in July, normally reserved for vacations instead of car purchases, but not during COVID-19.
People with lots of money to throw around are still throwing around money.
Would be selling this year, but there was no problem. Everything sold.
Roos urges any potential buyer to research their needs online first, learn about the car's history before coming in to test drive. Deborah Ryder, 1310 News.
And taxi drivers in Halifax are preparing for when non-medical masks become mandatory on public transit today. News 95.7's Katie Hartine has the details.
The provincial health measure announced last week includes municipal transit buses and ferries, school buses, community transit vehicles, and private
You
taxis
should put the
and
bubble
shuttles.
box around the driver and
Drivers
let him
and
not wear the
passengers
mask.
will be required
No,
to wear
this way
non-medical
that way. You
masks.
can use the ultra-thin
President
plastic
of the
bags
HRM
and bubbles.
Taxi Drivers Association, Dave Buffett, says cab companies are working to inform the public about what will be expected of them come Friday.
Yes, as a matter of fact, when you call the leading cab company, the HRM, already the recording says effective the 24th, you will be required. And if not, you cannot board the cab. So it's already started.
He says while licensed taxi drivers aren't necessarily looking forward to wearing a mask for their entire shift, they do understand its importance. Buffett says passengers are expected to bring their own masks with them. Katie Hartine, News 95.7.
680 News Time 1:21. Time for traffic and weather together. Here's Craig Gear. Highway 25 ramps onto the eastbound 401 closed for maintenance. James Snow Parkway ramps as well. We have some flooding being controlled on the eastbound 401 ramp to Winston Churchill, so that's been blocked off. East of Kipling over to approaching Yonge, the express lanes have been closed this morning, and the southbound Port Union ramp to the east 401 is blocked too. Northbound Port Union ramp to the west 401 closed, as well as the Markham Road ramps. Northbound 25 ramp to the west 401, that's also shut down. Northbound 427, no access from Derry or eastbound Finch. These ramps to the north 427 are blocked off. The south 427 ramps to the 407 are also closed, and the Finch ramps to the highway as well. South 427, the express ramp onto the QEW, that's been blocked off. So just heads up. Getting on to the QEWs, a little bit of a detour this morning. Next report at 1:31. Here's the forecast with Adam Stiles.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a cloudy start to the day today and then into the afternoon, clearing out to partly cloudy, an afternoon high temperature of 28 degrees. Humidity is relatively low, so humidex values will only be into the lower 30s as we head overnight. 18, clearing sky on the way. 28 degrees during the day tomorrow with sunshine back in the forecast, and we're going to stick with that into Saturday as well. But we will warm things up on Saturday, starting off the day at 18 degrees, heading up to a high of 31. That 31 is going to feel into the upper 30s. Sunday, we're going to add a few clouds into the afternoon, but likely going to stay dry at this point. 33 degrees, feeling like 40. Today, it's partly cloudy with a high temperature near 28.
Right now, downtown Toronto, 22 degrees with a few clouds. The humidity making it feel more like 27. Remember, 680 News is the only radio station with a weather guarantee. Today's jackpot stands at $6,900. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, police on the search for two men in a silver sedan wanted in connection with a shooting in North York, and why a video of a TTC driver is going viral. 680 News Time, 1:23. Save big during Aero Furniture's sensational summer sale. Sensational because you're supporting Canadian manufacturers and distributors, and you don't pay till 2022. Shop Aero Furniture today and help support Canadian manufacturers and distributors. The sensational summer sale on now for a limited time at all 4 GTA locations.
I don't know why I started off in the middle of the car, but I've seen bus drivers that take people off before being fucking idiots.
That's
They're not leaving some fucking old person in the middle of winter or something like miles from home or something.
This is 680 News.
Ask to play us on your smart speaker. Early evening, being an asshole.
This portion of the news brought to you by Alexandrian Carpet and Flooring. The Rolling Stones opening the vault with a never-before-heard legendary collaboration. More from ABC's Jason Nathanson. If you've ever wondered what the Rolling Stones would sound like if they had Led Zeppelin... Only.
Pour souscrire à une assurance, ben, vous êtes fumeur, avez-vous des conditions médicales, des comportements à risque, est-ce que votre famille, des antécédents qui sont quelque part de la génétique, et vous êtes ensemble de dossiers de conduite, etc. En fait, ce qui a changé dernièrement, c'est la quantité de données disponibles et l'interprétation qu'on peut faire de ces données-là. Hein, c'est le fameux Big Data. Donc, en fait, maintenant, on peut faire, grâce à cette quantité de données-là, des prédictions beaucoup plus précises sur les risques. La génétique peut entre autres donner de très bons indicateurs des risques de santé.
I'm in the same age. One is still touring. The one guy was already old when he got killed 40 years ago. What the fuck? Magic Johnson's had AIDS for 30 fucking years. There's like 2 generations of people born and died since he got AIDS.
Et dernièrement, il y a certaines assurances, dont un qu'on connaît mieux, Manuvie, qui offre à leurs clients, dans le fond, de pouvoir suivre leurs activités quotidiennes.
Ajusto de la santé.
Exactement. Manuvie, c'est un programme qui s'appelle Vitalité, et dans lequel, dans le fond, on vous offre, vous pouvez rentrer vos données tout seul, mais aussi on vous offre un Fitbit, dans le fond, là, un bracelet.
Watch,
ça se peut, un bracelet qui va vous aider à traquer vos... Donc, le nombre de pas que vous faites, le nombre d'exercices, et en échange de ça, on va vous donner des points pour diminuer votre prime d'assurance. Aux États-Unis, la loi permet aux assurances d'exiger de voir vos tests génétiques si vous en avez subi pour des assurances à très long terme. Donc, par exemple, une assurance vie. Donc, et il y a même certains employeurs qui peuvent le demander. Par exemple, donc, si à Noël, votre mononcle vous a offert un test 23andMe, par exemple, et que vous décidez de le passer,
c'est un peu cadeau de grec.
C'est un peu, d'ailleurs, l'armée américaine avait émis un communiqué en disant à ses soldats de ne pas subir ce genre de test parce que ça pouvait compromettre leur possibilité d'avancement de la vie.
Aïe aïe, donc c'est pas difficile d'imaginer une pente très glissante dans laquelle on pourrait
Absolument, absolument. Donc, il y a 3 principales critiques qui sont faites par rapport à cette nouvelle pratique. La première, c'est la quantité et la fiabilité des données qui sont récupérées. Moi, je me souviens, que mon oncle mettait son Fitbit sur une chaise versante pour calculer des pas. Donc, c'est comme exact. Il faisait pas ça pour les assurances. C'était juste, en tout cas, c'était une blague avec sa blonde. Mais bref, ça va quand même marquer. Donc, aussi, on dit que les assurances collectent beaucoup trop de données pour en fait leurs besoins réels. Il y a la transparence des algorithmes aussi qu'ils utilisent. Quelles sont les données? C'est quoi les relations entre les données? Qu'est-ce qui est utilisé? Et le plus grave, c'est le risque de discrimination et de l'adhésion volontaire. Donc, le risque de discrimination, c'est par exemple si vous devez souscrire une assurance pour votre profession et qu'on soupçonne que vous avez peut-être un gène qui pourrait vous rendre malade, on vous refuse cette assurance-là, donc vous ne pouvez pas pratiquer. Et l'adhésion volontaire, c'est une fois que j'ai donné mon consentement, est-ce que je peux le retirer? Est-ce que les conditions d'utilisation vont changer à travers le temps? Je donne un exemple aux États-Unis, il y a des grands employeurs américains qui veulent obliger leurs employés à porter un tracker d'activité pour payer l'assurance santé de ses employés. Donc, est-ce que c'est un véritable choix? Oui, certaines personnes plus fortunées vont pouvoir faire ce choix-là, mais quelqu'un qui a besoin de son assurance santé parce qu'il y a 4 enfants à la maison, par exemple, le choix devient plus difficile. Et en même temps, qu'est-ce qu'on fait avec les données? En tout cas, moi, je suis allé voir sur le site de Manuvie et là, on nous présente ça comme la 8e merveille du monde. Et il n'y a aucune mention. En tout cas, s'il y en a une, écrivez-moi pour me montrer elle est où sur le site. Et moi, j'en ai pas vu. Là, ce qu'on fait avec vos données sont où puis qui a accès. C'est quand même... C'est un peu l'éléphant dans la pièce. Mais donc, il y a des lois qui nous protègent néanmoins, Charles. Et là, je dis oui, mais en fait, ce qu'on constate, c'est qu'au Canada, il y a vraiment un retard juridique sur la question. La législation a été mise en place seulement en 2017 à l'initiative de sénateurs. Et en fait, ce que la loi canadienne fait, présentement, c'est à mon humble avis, c'est une assez bonne loi, elle interdit l'imposition de tests génétiques ou la communication d'un tel test comme obligation pour la fourniture d'un service ou la conclusion d'un contrat. Interdit aussi de sanctionner...
In Oakville, 23 degrees, partly cloudy. Milton, much the same at 21. A bit further north, Richmond Hill, partly cloudy, 21 degrees. Up in Bradford, partly cloudy, 20 degrees as well. Uxbridge, partly cloudy and 21. Pickering, partly cloudy and 22. In Dufferins Bay, rain at 22 degrees. That's just south of Oshawa. And right now, downtown Toronto, 22 degrees with a few clouds. The humidity making it feel more like 27. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. You can listen 3, 4, 5 times a day and always be in the know. 680 News, time 1:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good morning. This is Thursday, July 23rd. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Tim Chapman. Here's what's making news right now.
A late-night shooting in North York has Toronto police looking for suspects after a man was rushed to hospital with serious injuries.
A flock without a roost. The Blue Jays are still searching for a home stadium for the shortened Major League season after Pennsylvania officials rejected their proposal to play their home games in Pittsburgh.
A TTC driver and a passenger get into a screaming match, and it's caught on tape.
Get off her fucking bus.
TTC officials say they don't know what led to the
People
exchange, but
buddy.
they're looking
Get the fuck
into
off
it.
the bus.
Well, the police say the 2 young girls found dead in a field were killed by their father. But what they don't know is why.
The rain puts an early end to the Blue Jays' final exhibition game, and the NHL Seattle franchise is set to make some news. Sports at 45.
I think he hit his head in that fucking car.
Second quarter results are expected from Twitter today.
So confused. He took off with the kids, Hamburger got called, and he got into an accident, or he got into an accident. Disappeared with kids.
Time for traffic
He
and
got all
weather
fucked
together on
up
the ones.
somehow
Here's Craig
at
here.
that moment of time.
Bunch of construction out there. We have
And
the Highway
Hamburger
25
got
and the
called
Jamestown
after
Parkway
everything's
ramps to the
already said and
eastbound
done.
401 closed for overnight
This
maintenance.
is tough shit to
Eastbound
make
401 ramp to Winston Churchill still closed for flooding. East of Kipling to approaching Yonge, the express lanes have been shut down, and the southbound 4 Union ramp to the eastbound 401 is blocked off as well. Westbound 401, no access from the northbound Port Union or the Markham Road ramps. They've been shut down. The ramps to the Allen off the West 401 are also closed, and then the northbound 25 ramp to the West 401 is blocked off as well too. A lot of other lane restrictions out there, but we're not seeing any delays. We have the Derry and the eastbound Finch ramps to the North 427 closed, and the North 427 ramp to Highway 7 way up at the top. That's also blocked off. South 427, no access to the 407, or you won't be able to get onto the South 427 from Finch. These ramps are closed for maintenance. Also, the express ramp onto the Kiwi W is blocked off.
Next report at 1:41. Here's the forecast with Adam Stiles.
I don't
Bring things
understand.
back up over the next few days and drying out. Looks like 28 the daytime
Very
high
similar to
today.
come out with a vehicle
Winds out
tomorrow,
of the
call it
northwest
the
near 20
Chinaman,
kilometers
the
per hour.
Jap,
Some cloud
but they can call it the
sunshine into the
Cherokee,
afternoon.
the
Pretty nice
Comanche.
summer day on the way. Today's high 28 degrees.
I don't
Right
know
now
if it's right or
downtown
wrong.
Toronto,
I just
22
said they
degrees with
wouldn't
a few
do the
clouds.
one
The humidity
whatsoever.
making
The other
things
one
feel
could
more
do all
like
the time.
27. 6 City News Time,
3 LED.
1:32.
Did the Crews get any money from that?
Toronto police
Any
say
money?
a man
Anything?
has been rushed
Was
to
it a Cree
hospital
person that
after a
started the
shooting in the
company?
area of
Something?
Jane and
Tell me, so I've never
401.
heard nothing
It
about
happened
it, so I
around
don't
9
believe
last night in the Falstaff and Springview
somebody
area.
would have passed
Police
that
formulated
information
the
out.
suspect vehicle to be a silver sedan, and they say they're on the hunt for 2 suspects who are seen fleeing the area.
The first suspect described as a black male wearing a gray hoodie, gray pants, white running shoes, and a medical mask. The second described as a black male wearing a black jacket, black shirt, white pants, and black running shoes. Constable Alex Lee tells 6 City News there's still a police presence in the area.
There is a heavy police presence in the area. No mention of a road closure, so anybody traveling through the area can expect delays.
Anyone with information is being asked to come forward.
6 City News Time 1:34. Well, after a blow to the Blue Jays, the team having their request to play home games in Pittsburgh being denied, 6 City's Asher Roth tells us it's now crunch time with the scaled-back MLB season set to kick off today.
The Blue Jays are supposed to host the Washington Nationals for their first home game next week, but just what city they'll call home remains a question mark after Pennsylvania officials rejected the team's proposal to share PNC Park with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates beat writer Jason Mackey explains the government's thinking on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
They're worried about the sort of infrastructure here and being able to handle 2 home teams and multiple visiting teams.
Sportsnet baseball insider Shai Davidi says all options are on the table. Baltimore is one of them.
Buffalo is sort of their last call option. Well, I guess their second last call option is always Dunedin. But no one wants to go into the fetid COVID swamp that is Florida if you don't have to.
Despite the uncertainty, Jays manager Charlie Montoyo says he's telling his players to stay positive, keep going, and to not worry about things they can't control. I'm Asher Roth. And it seems doubtful that the CFL will get much needed financial assistance from the Canadian government. Earlier this month, the CFL submitted a financial request to Ottawa for roughly $42.5 million in aid. The Minister of Canadian Heritage, Stephen Goulabert, didn't directly say no when asked about the request, but stopped well short of guaranteeing the financial aid.
6 City News Time 1:35. Well, a TTC driver loses her cool while on shift, and it's all caught on tape. As 6 City's Phil Martino tells us, TTC officials say they don't know what led to the exchange, but they're investigating. Off the top of the nearly 3.5-minute video, the TTC driver is heard yelling at a male passenger.
Yeah, I don't need
Then things go from bad to worse. She really loses her cool and begins banging on the partition separating her from the passengers after the man threatens to spit in her face. TTC spokesperson Stuart Green says TTC operators have incredibly difficult jobs and face harassment on a daily basis.
We do know that she contacted Trans Control, which is another part of their training and their guidance, so that was the correct thing to do.
People are messaging the TTC on Twitter, throwing their support behind the driver. Among them this tweet: instead of being reprimanded, this is a clear sign that she needs support. Passengers are so abusive sometimes. I'm Phil Martino.
6 City News Time 1:36. Some frustrated and angry parents gathered on the lawn of Queen's Park early Wednesday, calling for a full return to school in the fall. The organizers accusing the FORE government of not having a financial or safety plan in place yet. Premier Doug Ford says he's leaning in one direction, but still working on it.
From somewhere I live.
Families want certainty when they go back to work, that they're going to be there 5 days a week. Mentioned this to the minister. He understands that people want 5 days a week, and he's working with the boards and making that clear. The reason we have 3 other areas, God forbid, we go the other way and we get a second wave of this or a flu season or something goes off the tracks. You have to have a backup plan.
The province is expected to announce its official plans for the fall semester next month.
6 City News Time 1:36. Well, Quebec provincial police say they haven't been able to determine a motive behind the slayings of 2 young sisters killed by their father after a car crash this month near Quebec City. 6 City's Tijuana Turner has more.
According to police, Nora and Romy Carpentier were killed with a blunt object by their father, Martin Carpentier, who took his own life. They say up until the accident, nothing about Carpentier's demeanor led anyone to believe he would harm his daughters, but they can't explain his actions afterwards.
Every behavior that was noted that's been determined during investigation prior to that moment is behavior that is normal, that fits what we would expect for that individual. Except that from that point on, after the crash, it's everything else after that that doesn't add up to what we would call normal behavior.
Quebec police spokesperson Guy Lapointe says both the double slaying and the suspect taking his own life occurred in a 12-hour time frame and that they were all dead by the morning of July 9th. I'm Tijuana Turner.
6 City News Time 1:38. Doug Ford found himself defending the removal of the MPP from Cambridge from the Ontario PC caucus. 6 City's Mark Douglas explains how the Premier and the MPP are telling two very different stories.
You're
part of a team. You were Ford as a team.
Cambridge MPP Belinda Carahalios voted against her own government's Bill 195 that extends certain COVID-19 emergency powers. Premier Doug Ford says she never said a word to him about doing so, even though they spent 2 days together last week. She completely contradicts him on that point. Carahalios says she only got 3 seconds with the Premier on one of those days. While she did ask him and later his staff to call her, he never did. She says Bill 195 was too vague and gives far too much power to the Premier's office.
It's my guess still contributed to a decision that gets made that, maybe
one question, one follow-up.
Another lockdown of the province, which I really hope.
As he's finishing the last syllable, follow-up.
Devastate
Next
tons of
question.
businesses across the province. I don't want to be part of that.
At Queen's Park, I'm Mark Douglas.
Why the fuck
Well, Federal Economic Development Minister Melanie Joly says her government needs to look into allegations that Governor General Julie Payette mistreated staff members. Joly told reporters in Ottawa Wednesday that everyone deserves to see a safe and healthy workplace.
This is an issue that my colleagues will have to look into,
but obviously in any workplace, people need to be able to feel comfortable and definitely really will need to look into this very, very carefully. CBC News has reported, quoting anonymous sources, that Payette has allegedly created a toxic work environment at Redo Hall.
Redo Hall, yes, Redo Hall. Redo Hall.
Tokyo celebrating the original date a year ago. That was before the COVID-19 pandemic postponed the Olympics and pushed back the opening to July 23rd of 2021. Organizers produced a 15-minute no-fans event inside the new National Stadium, screening a video to promote next year's opening. They also teased the presence of the Olympic flame, which arrived in Japan in March and had been hidden away ever since.
Put us on and find out what to wear. The best weather reports in the city every 10 minutes on 680 News.
Now, City News gas price update, as Unpro predicted, the price rose 2 cents at midnight to 105.